All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And, somebody made a suggestion several times actually in my comments that I switch my microphone to the other side of my studio so that you guys could see the collection behind me. And I kind of pushed back on that because my dominant eye is my right eye. And for me to do voiceovers, the microphone does have to be on this side, but I pretty much have it in the center of my screen and it was off to the side, so I figured I could just move it to the other side and do the audio that way when I do my YouTube video. So I just switch it back when I'm done. So hopefully this is more pleasing for everybody. So let me know if you guys prefer this over the other way. But if you didn't catch it, if you didn't know, I am not a real DC fan. And I lie in every single video that I do. And with that out of the way, we're going to take a look at some of the photos I have grabbed since my last update. Now, yesterday I did a definitive video on why I don't think James Gunn is the right guy to handle DC properties. And you guys can go check out that video. And on top of that, I do want to point out that he was hired as the co-CEO of Warner Brothers, the DC division, DC Studios. I don't think there's any other co-CEO or CEO of any other company, movie company, that is writing and directing everything that has been created up until this point. James Gunn, guys, is doing it all. It's all on him. And I almost get the feeling that if this doesn't go down well, they're gonna blame him. He's gonna be the fall guy. And he's got to have an enormous amount of pressure on him. He does. And Superman Legacy has to be a hit or this guy's career is pretty much going to be toast, which is interesting. But let's take a look at some of the photos I have grabbed since my last update. All right, the first photo I have here is in regards to Man of Steel. And unfortunately, you guys, the comparisons between the DCU and the DCEU are never going to go away. It's going to be a part of these updates, and it will continue to be talked about going forward. Because we've already heard about the budget for Superman, which, was Superman Legacy and is now just Superman. I hope I can stop saying Superman Legacy. But for Superman, and, no one knows what the real budget is. There are differing reports out there, but there are people who claim to have public records that show that it is $368 million, while James Gunn came out and said that is definitely not true. And we don't know what the real budget is, and I've stated that in past videos. So we don't definitively know what it is, but we know it's going to be pretty high. Now, it says here that Man of Steel, which adjusted for inflation, would have made $806 million in 2024 money. People say that wasn't a successful film. Okay? Just remember that. Everyone claimed, Warner Brothers claimed that didn't make enough money. It wasn't successful. And before I read this last part, well, first of all, it said it grossed $668 million worldwide at the time, becoming the ninth highest grossing film of 2013. A follow-up titled Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice was released on March 25th of 2016. So the Man of Steel box office was $668 million over 10 years ago when it got released, but today's money, that would be $806 million. So Superman Legacy, or Superman, everyone is saying it needs to make at least $600 million for it to be considered a success. Now, what's crazy about that is that movie only has to cross that mark, yet Man of Steel and even, when it first came out, made more money than that, which is crazy. And I also want to point out that you had the Batman, which didn't even make $800 million when it was released. Now, I had some people kind of try to spar with me on Twitter about the Batman, saying, it was a new IP, it was a new version of Batman, and people were afraid to go see it. They didn't know what they were getting into. And I do want people to keep in mind that there were a whole bunch of people who saw that movie and thought it was one of the most boring movies ever made. And so I don't think the audience for the Batman 2 is going to be nearly what it was for the Batman. And I want to point out that the Batman, just Batman in general, is DC's biggest character. It's not Superman. And so if Superman doesn't even make what the Batman did, it's just not going to, is my point. And it's not going to make what Man of Steel did. Unless it is an amazing, it's just got to be absolutely stellar, off the charts amazing. And I don't see anything that is going to point to that at this stage. Do I hope that it bombs? No, personally I don't. I love movies. And the fact that the current regime is not going to do anything towards the DCEU, I'm going to have to run with this for the time being. I'm still pissed that they fired Henry Cavill. I'm not going to be optimistic about this film, but when it gets released, if it is good, I will totally admit it, and I will scream at the top of my lungs how good it is. I just don't see it being what everybody wants it to be. Now, I have some photos here in regards to Superman and what Superman may look like in the new film. And so this is by some artist, and this would be Superman with the trunks with kind of a lighter blue here, okay? And this is based off of the crest that they showed. And they did say that this suit, James Gunn said the suit for the new Superman movie is going to be heavily based off of Alex Ross's art. And this doesn't entirely look like that, but it's close. I think the cape is too far forward. Now here's a pretty cool image of Ben Affleck's Batman, and you can see some parademons in the background. I thought this was cool. I will include this in my folder. We also have a cool shot of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman here. This will also be included in my folder. Now here's a darker version of the Superman suit, but without the red trunks. Now, one thing I want to point out about this art is that this cape is way too long. The cape can't be that long, so it's going to be shortened up compared to this. And it's going to be interesting when they do finally reveal this suit to the public. I'm very curious. I think the sooner they reveal it, the sooner they show us what he looks like, the better off they're going to be. So this comes from Daniel RPK, and he says, James Gunn and David Corenswet are currently shooting Fortress of Solitude scenes in Norway for Superman. So that is currently happening right now. And if you remember, when James Gunn revealed the emblem, it did have snow on it. Also from Daniel RPK comes Peacemaker Season 2 and Waller are both reportedly expected to begin filming this year, which is to be expected. I didn't know Waller was a main priority. I think they need to come out with they need to start focusing on Supergirl, the movie, Batman Brave and the Bold, and also get the Green Lantern series up and running before they do anything with Waller. Again, they're just doing some offshoot weird characters that really people don't really care all that much about. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Now, there is one other thing I'm going to show you here. I'm going to take you over to Twitter, and I'm going to show you a promotional video that was released in regards to the Superman symbol on his costume. So let's take a look at that. So here is that video for the Superman crest that I am not going to play the audio for in case it gets copyrighted. So I'm going to turn the audio down, but I'm going to play this here for you. All right, so you guys can go check out the audio for that if you want to hear it. I'm wondering if that's going to be some of the music that they play in the actual movie. All right, guys, so there you have it. The DC news of the day. There hasn't been a whole lot getting released other than the things that we've been talking about. And I will continue to carry all of the DC information as it gets released and do these daily videos for you guys. And as far as I know it, I don't think there's anybody else out there doing actual daily DC videos to bring all this information to you guys. And always keep in mind that some of the stuff I bring to you may not end up being true in the end. And that's true of anything going on right now in regards to social media and stuff in regards to these movies. And so until stuff actually gets released, You could take everything kind of with a grain of salt. But what I do is I gather everything I find, I bring it to you guys, and then give my commentary on everything. And I do appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up. All right, we'll see you on the next video.